What is absolutely good, fellas? I just want to say welcome to the channel. If you like the content, just like the video, subscribe. I would highly appreciate it, guys. And tomorrow we got Georgia Tech and Florida State. It is about time, fellas, And the thing is, man, I'm extremely excited for this season. Let me know who you think you got heading into the matchup tomorrow. And then next week, we've got all the slates of the games. So, hey, we're going to get right into this thing, man. And, today I'm going over, in college football playoff, the sleeper teams. I'm getting 13 unranked teams who can crash into, the 12-team field. So, I think, the thing is, in college football's postseason, route a new era in 2024 with the arrival of the 12-team college football playoff featuring automatic bids for the top-ranked conference champions plus 7 at-large selections. The bracket intrigues will only build throughout the fall, but one thing's for sure, more teams will have a realistic shot to play for a national title than ever before, which gives people like a good chance, but how many more? It's assumed many of the nation's elite programs will play their way into the top 12 most years, but the expanded field leaves room for a number of surprises, especially in the first year of a new system below, So, I think these programs have a shot in the preseason that are not ranked, guys. Outside of the top 12 that I think has a legitimate, shot at this. So, at first, I think it's going to be Virginia Tech could be one of those teams. Because this might be the Hokies' best team since Frank Beamer retired. Tech founded something in quarterback Kyron Drones and won 5 of its last 7 games. So, including a bowl to close out in 2023 season. So, I think that's an extremely good look. Drones threw for 17 touchdowns with just 3 picks and ran for 818 yards last season, igniting a long, dominant defense. So I think, so one of their guys was a defensive lineman, Antoine Powell-Ryland. He had 14 and a half tackles for loss and 9.5 sacks. And a loaded secondary return, on, the unit which head coach Brent Bryce specializes. The Hokies rank up nationally in returning roster production. So I think they have a really good chance, to succeed. And another team is second on the list, Iowa State, guys, which has a good shot. The Cyclones are turned 9 starters on both offense and defense, including breakout quarterback, Rayco Brett, his top 4 receivers, the defense, defensive top 5 tackles and loading rusher, Abu Sama, Ohio State, Oklahoma State, and Kansas State last year, and wraps up this season with a trip to Utah and home against Kansas State. So I really think they have a legitimate shot, at, succeeding. So we'll just have to see. Louisville is another team. Jeff Braun led the Cardinals to a 10-win season and an ACC championship game appearance in his first year at the helm. And he has some key pieces in place for what should be sound defense. Can Texas Tech transfer quarterback Tyler Scholl thrive in Braun's system? There will be ample opportunity to rise up the ranking with games against Notre Dame, Clemson, and the University of Miami. So Louisville has a chance, So I would believe in the second-year league, Louisville returns 15 players with at least 5 starters in 2023 last season and bolstered that group with a robust transfer portal class. The schedule is also favorable, I would say. So Louisville only plays two of the top 8 teams in the ACC in the poll, it seems like. So they got Clemson and Miami, and the road to South Bend is a prime opportunity to beef up the playoff resume. So I really think that's a good shot, So another team is West Virginia. Are we not talking and mentioning stuff about the Mountaineers? Quarterback Garrett Green has a shot to contend for Heisman. Neil Brown's team has a chance to upset Penn State and make an immediate statement in week 1. West Virginia has 7 home games, which will help the tip of the scales with plenty of showcase opportunity as Penn State, Kansas, Iowa State, Kansas State, Baylor, UCF, you name it. So they really have a shot, I believe, personally. So that do not sleep on them, guys. So another team, Texas State. The Bobcats came atop the West Division in the Sun Belt preseason poll, but still finished behind East-leading Appalachian State in the last season. King's first season, he did go 8-5 though, including a season-opening road win against Baylor. So they did drop some transfer portal this offseason with quarterback Jordan McLeod, the reigning Sun Belt Player of the Year for James Madison. The schedule is set up for favorability too, So the Bobcats have a winnable, yet respectable conference play, I would say. So it's really up to them how they're able to, succeed in that role, So another team is UCF. The Knights were the only Big 12 newcomer last season to reach a bowl game, and head coach Gus Malzahn tragically upgraded his roster through the transfer portal, adding 27 new players with over 320 college starts between quarterback. It was KJ Jefferson. So he came from Arkansas, I think. So he led the offense, which features, he had a 1,400-yard rusher, from a year ago with R.J. Harvey and Penny Boone, the Toledo transfer. So I think they'll absolutely score plenty if I really think so. So you guys may laugh at this one, but I really do think UNLV could potentially have a legitimate shot. And the thing is, actually, they have a coordinator at Missouri and less of a good head coach there, but, has a new level out west. UNLV was picked, they were picked second, in the Mountain West. And the thing was, and the only question is how will he replace quarterback? It was Jaden Mavia, who transferred to USC after committing to Georgia. So that matter does need to be resolved quickly because 3 early non-conference games will be pivotal to any college football chances for this team. At Houston, at Kansas, home against Syracuse. It'll be tough, but UNLV making the first expanded college football playoff would be a great story, if they can figure this out, how to replace Mavia, they're going to be dangerous. I will say the Rebels reached the Mountain West Championship game in Ohm's first season and championship game in Odom's first, so I think they got a ton of talent. So, it's important to mention the quarterback situation. So that's one of my big reasons that I have them, that they potentially could have a shot. But another team is Rutgers. Call me crazy, guys. So the thing is, I believe in the Scarlet Knights this year. Greg, the head coach there, has done a great job in recruiting in the program's backyard and returns a ton of talent from a team that actually led Ohio State at halftime last season. So they'll have a new quarterback in Minnesota. Yeah, they have a new quarterback in Minnesota, the Minnesota transfer. So, I think Athen. I can't say his last name, but he's the Minnesota quarterback and returning back. Kyle Mazugai is one of the best running backs in the country. Doesn't get talked about too much because the schedule breaks right away for contention too. The Scarlet Knights don't play Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State, Iowa, or Michigan this year. So that's a very favorable matchup if you ask me. So I think that's a very good look. And a true good shot at the playoffs this year, and I personally believe a huge shot, is Wisconsin, fellas. You want to get nuts with this one, so let's get nuts with this one, guys. The parameters for the exercise basically require a team to be high leverage situation where one or two unexpected twists and turns unbends all assumptions. I give you the Badgers, who get Alabama at home in mid-September. The first time since 1971 that an SEC team will play at Camp Randolph Stadium. The place will be bonkers, guys. I absolutely will tell you. And, the Crimson Tide will be coached by someone other than Nick Saban. Then there's USC on the road 2 weeks later. Not, bad, So, and finally, Oregon. Oof. At home in mid-November when the climate could be very unfriendly at late fall in the Midwest. Even if the Badgers lose, like 1 or 2, these games, it's no longer fatal in a Big 12 playoff. So I really think they have a decent shot, So I think that's a really good look. And moving on, we got South Florida. The Bulls took a huge leap forward in Alec Gulch's first season as head coach, going from 1-11 to 7-6. With a 45-0 bowl win against Syracuse, with star quarterback Brian Brown, back had a defense that could only get better, keeping an eye on Tampa. They have this non-conference schedule, it's tough, with Alabama and Miami, but the conference schedule could be favorable with UCF set up to play for the 5 bottom teams in the AAC preseason. So, but they're in the preseason now, but I think they'll be just ready to go going into the season. But playing Alabama and Miami could be very tough for them. So we will only see. Next up, I do have SMU, guys. So the ACC race feels like a bit of a wild card. So why not? We picked the conference newcomer to make waves in year one. Last year the Mustangs ranked number 8 in the entire country in scoring, offense, and route to an 11-3 record and an AAC championship quarterback. Preston Stone returns, after throwing 3,197 yards, which was 26 in the country. And they had, 28 touchdowns, which was like 11th in the country, So, as a redshirt sophomore, of course, the Mustangs were beat out by undefeated Liberty last year's, New Year's Six bid. So there's an added chip on their shoulder against the committee. So I think SMU has a real good shot, as these unranked teams, and next up is Tulane. I'm a big believer in new head coach John Shamal after his time at Troy, where he inherited a program that won combined 15 games in the previous 3 seasons and went 23-4 in those 2 years, So there will be back-to-back Sun Belt titles. Summerall brought both of his coordinators with him to Tulane and did a solid job of adding portal talent, in an already athletic Green Wave roster. The schedule offers opportunities to impress a committee with a home game against Kansas State and road trip to Oklahoma, and Memphis, the AAC preseason favorite, must travel to New Orleans in the regular season finale. So I think that's a really good look. And, the last team on our schedule, guys, I think Fresno State will be a good team to mention because, the Sun Belt contenders could, they could prove themselves as a playoff hopeful, and Liberty's strength of schedule likely won't be all that impressive, but that levers room for someone else to get in and break through and earn, the guaranteed spot in the 12-team playoff after, a reset after that future 9 wins, 2 over so the Power 5 school, The Bulldogs bring back quarterback Mikey Keene, who, have seen the schedule that could set up for a nice run. So, I think it'll be extremely good look. So these are my teams that I think has a shot at the 12-team playoff bid this season with the expanded playoff. So I think this will be an extremely good look, So with these teams that are unranked, that has a shot to get in if they can beat these teams on their schedule. And I think they have a legitimate shot, guys. So this is what I personally think, on my opinion. So guys, so what do you guys think that will who can make the playoffs that are unranked in the preseason poll? So this is what I believe. So let me give your thoughts about this, So I would highly appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys if you watch the videos. I highly appreciate it on another level, guys. I do. So let me know what you guys think, and we'll get into the next video. We're uploading every day, guys. Hey, we're doing our thing. We're trying our best. So, hey, we're getting better each day. So, peace out, guys. Till the next one, man. I love you guys.